Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So, on today's episode, we've got a bit of an interesting one for you here today. Women are able to go out and they are applauded for having their dating standards, okay? Never settle queen. I want a guy who is tall. I want a guy who makes a lot of money. I want a man who's handsome, etc. And women are championed and said, you know what, queen? Don't settle for less than what you deserve. But what happens when a man has standards? What happens when a man says, you know what, I'm not interested in dating you for whatever reason he so chooses? Well, then all of a sudden, Houston, we have a problem. So in this first video that I wanted to show you guys, we have a girl here who was scheduled to go on a date with a man, and she basically gets blown off and rejected, okay? And rather than take it like a nice human being, she of course makes a TikTok about it, puts in the title that it's quote effing pathetic, and puts hashtag men suck. So without further ado, guys, we're going to take a listen to what this woman has to say. And by the way, guys, this is a very viral video with almost 10,000 comments on it, so apparently the ladies are resonating. Let's take a listen.
I just got fucking blocked on literally everything because I told a guy that I don't shave. A guy I was supposed to go on a date with in 2 hours, might I add. And this happened about 30 minutes ago. We had been talking for about a week. The conversations were great. He was very open-minded. So I thought. Was very understanding every time I spoke on my feminist values.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to pause it there. What an absolute shock horror, guys. I could not have seen this coming, that a man does not want to date a woman that, number one, doesn't shave, which, look, if she doesn't want to shave, if she wants to be a womanist, that is her prerogative. She is free to do as she sees fit, okay? But men typically are not interested in dating women who, one, don't shave, and two, who are female chauvinists, okay? That is essentially what womanism has become in modern day society. So I, for one, am not surprised that the man wasn't interested in dating you. But let's continue.
And I didn't think I had to make it that disclaimer to him, but you know, men.
Yeah, of course, right? Men. You've got to make the disclaimer because men. Here's the thing. There are certain things that each gender is not typically interested in. Okay? If you're a man and you are a loser and you have no friends and you smell bad, women are not typically going to be interested in you. Okay, if you are a woman and you don't shave and you post misandry on your TikTok, chances are the guy doesn't want to take you seriously either. And you know what? Each gender is free to have their own standards and to say, you know what? I don't want to deal with this other person. But of course, guys, when it comes to men, we have an issue with men saying no, because men are supposed to be the ones who are not allowed to say no. Let's keep going.
So I did. And I was like, hey, I've had bad experiences in the past with guys, so I'm just letting you know I don't shave any part of my body. And instead of being an adult and just saying, I have a problem with that or whatever, he then says, I appreciate that. Sorry you've had like bad experiences in the past. Then blocks me and unmatches me on everything. So if you're in Vancouver and match with a guy named Darian and his first photo is him drinking a Corona, run.
Okay, so let's talk about that. She says that he wants him to act like an adult. I mean, he sent you a respectful message, and then he removed you. Okay, can you guys imagine the reversal of this situation where if you had, you know, the genders were reversed here, it'd be go, you know, all you go queen, okay? Fantastic on you for rejecting him. So what that you blocked him, blah, blah, blah. And I want to highlight this last point that this woman made here, okay? She says, listen, I've had bad experiences in the past. Now, guys, if Amber Turd has taught us anything, it's that unfortunately, gentlemen, you cannot trust women on their word, because you know what? You could be, even if you're a fantastic guy, even if you're a well-meaning man, even if you are Johnny Depp, you can still be accused of things you didn't do. So when women come out here and they say, look, my dating past is terrible, all that the men I've been with are trash, I have a terrible dating history, they might be right. Okay, they might have dated a bunch of a-holes, but guess what? If she's dated 10 a-holes and you're a good guy, guess what? You're probably going to be labeled the next a-hole. You're probably going to be labeled the next narcissist, the next toxic man. So unfortunately, guys, there are a small subset of women who lie about these things and who have made it rough for the rest of women. Because when you sit here and you say, I want men to believe me, I want men to accept my dating history and all of these things, men will look at this and go, I'm not necessarily willing to risk it, even if you're telling the truth, even if you are being completely honest. Now, guys, let's jump into some of these comments here and see what some of these individuals have to say. So user a bunch of digits here says, these comments are so sad. Don't ever change yourself for any man, all capitals. No man is worth it. I would encourage these girls, okay? This is fantastic. If you don't want to change for any man, if you don't want to shave your legs, if you don't want to cook or behave in any certain way, I agree with you. Knock yourself out. You do not have to change if you do not want to. But guess what? If you want the man that you truly desire, you are probably going to have to change, because he can choose another woman instead. And that's like, imagine, guys, right? If I was a dude and I came out here and I said, women should just accept me as I am. It doesn't matter if I'm broke. It doesn't matter if I'm rude to everybody. It doesn't matter how my attitude is or if I refuse to hit the gym. None of these things should matter, because women should accept me the way that I am. And if she truly loves me, you know, she's going to accept that. Guys, let me tell you something. You would be single for the rest of your life as a man. Okay, unless you are incredibly biologically gifted, okay, you look like Zeus himself, girls aren't going to give you a chance just because you're like, oh, you know, girls should give me a chance simply because I am. No girl gives a crap about a guy who's a loser, who's not attractive, who doesn't put work into himself. So, I mean, you're welcome to, it's funny how girls think they can afford this philosophy, and maybe they can up until they're 30, but guess what? The clock starts ticking, and when they get to 30, 35, these things certainly catch up with them, because, you know, a guy might deal with you if you're in your early 20s and you're like, I'm a boss babe, I'm a queen. Sure, he'll have some fun with you and he'll toss you to the side. But try doing that crap when you're at 35. I mean, good luck finding your ring. Let's keep going. Becca here says, I'm sorry about all of these comments. Clearly this ended on the wrong side of TikTok, but I'm sorry that happened to you. I love how it's like this thing happened to her and it's so terrible. Right? It's like she's somehow the victim in this situation because the man wasn't interested. Isn't that interesting, right? Because the man wasn't interested, she's somehow a victim. And by the way, guys, these women are saying, you know, the comments are so sad. I apologize for the comments. There really isn't a whole lot of negative comments here. You know, what is happening with the comments? So it looks to me like she actually deleted a lot of these comments. Like this woman here says, these comments are disgusting. Like, I'm in shock. The men in these comments, oh, so there's one comment from a man here that would probably piss women off. Let's read this. I hope women who go through this now realize what guys feel like when you stop responding due to something he said that you don't like. And of course, it only has one upvote here, and it says, let's have a look. It's him again. He says, if women don't owe an explanation for ghosting me, then that goes for men too. I love how the first guy that we see in the comment section makes a valid point here, except for maybe Aaron. You know, mostly we've just got women here saying, oh, rough, you know, etc. Oh no, we have a dude saying poor guy. Okay, so maybe there are some dudes roasting her in the comments. I absolutely love to see it. But guys, let's continue into today's next TikTok, okay? And this one, it ties in perfectly because, again, a lot of these situations, you basically have a fast forward of the same woman. So here we have a woman who's going to describe to us the fact that women are apparently unionizing against dating standards. And what I mean by that is apparently women are collectively raising their standards. They're not having situationships anymore. That is to say, undefined bedroom fun relations with random men, apparently, according to this woman. But we're going to take a listen to TikTok's impact on dating culture and see what this woman has to say. And I thought that this tied really nicely in with the previous one. So let's jump in. And again, guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments on what some of these individuals are saying here. Let's keep going.
I just realized the impact that TikTok has on dating culture. Let me tell you a story from this weekend. So I was getting brunch on Saturday with one of my guy friends, and he was like, how come every girl on Hinge has the same answer to this prompt? And I was like, what's the answer to the prompt? I think a lot of you guys will recognize this from TikTok.
Okay, so let's pause this here. Apparently, a lot of women have this in their bios. It says, the way to win me over is, and then I think they put in their own prompts here. So it says, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Next one is, I made us reservations for tomorrow night, be ready at 7. And the next one is, let me get the door for you. So apparently the way to win women over is being chivalrous. Now guys, I'm going to tell you that this is bullcrap, and let me explain why. The reason why these things are bullcrap is because the man who the woman is going to see, right? The man who she's actually attracted to, he doesn't have to plan dates. He doesn't have to get doors. He doesn't have to take care of her problems. You know what the guy says? The man who the woman is actually interested in, who's actually attracted, he doesn't have to say, you know, nearly anything. He just says, listen, it's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night. I'm bored. Do you have some free time? And she'll say, oh, yes, I'll come over. Yes, it'll be good to see you. And then it'll go from there. Okay? Men have started to realize that when women are requiring chivalry, when they're requiring men to do all of these things, they don't require the men that they're attracted to do anything. Right? And we can see that by evidence of women saying the bar is so low, the standards are so low. And the reason it's so low is because they set it so low, guys. But let's continue with the video.
He said so many people have this on there. He's like, where did this come from? And I told him that it came from a viral TikTok that has made its rounds and apparently is making an impact. And I told him the girlies have been talking on TikTok, at least in the circles that I'm in. I told him situationships are out, lack of effort is out, canceling is not happening. We've all just decided to like raise ourselves to a higher standard. And
that is the biggest load of bullcrap I think I have heard in a hot minute. You're telling me in the year 2022 that situationships are on their way out because women are collectively raising their standards? Women's standards are lower than ever before. Okay, if a girl's interested in you in 2022, you do not have to buy her McDonald's. You do not, like, you don't have to do, if a woman is attracted to you, guys, I want to make this very clear. When a woman likes you, everything is easy. Okay, when a woman doesn't like you, you'll hear things like, you know, you need to take me out on a date, you need to do this, you need to do that. You'll get a whole bunch of rules. Okay, you'll get chores that you have to do if you're in a relationship, right? She'll start demanding that you do trivial bullcrap around the house, even though maybe you might be winning all the bread. Okay, and these things will start to seep into relationships, but there is no way that this woman can tell me that situationships are on their way out. Now, it might be on their quote-unquote way out for girls who are 35, but even then I would argue that they're not, because the girl who's 35 is still going to run off with Chad when he rears his head to have some fun with her. It's just that he's not actually going to commit to her. But let's keep going, because that is just astoundingly hilarious to me. Let's move on.
And also that a lot of the people I see are kind of done with hookup culture. So I myself have never really gotten into hookup culture because I spent most of my life in purity culture, and now I'm just trying to find a healthy relationship.
I'm going to have to call bullcrap on that one as well. So you mean to tell me into, you know, you're 30 plus years of age, I'm going to guess here. Now, I don't know this woman's age, but you're going to tell me that as a 30 plus year old woman, that you were engaged in purity culture, and now that you're 30 plus years of age, now you are ready for a healthy, serious relationship? Guys, these are the certain things, these are the types of things that men cannot afford to listen to, because let me tell you why. If you're a guy and you come across this woman and you want to take her seriously for a relationship, and she says to you, look, I've been engaged in purity culture, and now that you know, I'm looking for a real serious relationship, that should make you very, very skeptical, because the question becomes, what was she doing all throughout her 20s? Was she focusing on her career? Okay, where's your money at then? Where's your house? Why do you need to settle down with a man? Why do you need security now? Okay, why do you need these things now? Guys, when girls tell me things like, my body count is 3, and I am 24 years of age, and I live in a first world country in a major city, I'm going to look at them like they're an alien. Because most of the time, guys, if not all of the time, they are lying. Now, I don't know this girl personally, but the point is that men cannot afford to gamble, especially when things like their houses are on the line, other assets that they might have, any kids that they might choose to have with you. These things all come on the line, and we're expected to believe that you are somehow pure all throughout your 20s, and now you're looking for a healthy relationship. I don't buy it, guys. I sincerely do not buy it. Let's keep going.
But I told him, tell the guys, none of them are getting anything unless they start treating us better, because most of the girls have realized we're kind of better off without that drama in our lives, and if we're going to give our time to a man, it better be worthwhile.
Okay, tell me why then does treating women well repulse them? Okay, if this were true, then you would think that going out there, being Prince Charming, showing a woman that you care, getting her roses, these would be things that are good things to do for men. But you know what men experience when they go out here and they do these things for women? They get treated terribly. They get treated, what's the saying that goes around, guys? Maybe one of you guys can leave it in the comments. I think it's like, treat her like a celebrity and she'll treat you like a fan. When men go out here and they validate women, when they get them gifts, when they romance them, give them unwanted attention, a lot of the times this ends poorly for men. Now, there's a right way to romance, which is like a very nuanced topic, okay? But for the most part, when dudes are out here validating women, respecting them, treating them like princesses, women want nothing to do with them. They'll just think, oh, okay, I've got him. He's the free attention. He's the validation. Now I'm going to move on to a guy who's a challenge and who's going to stroke my ego when I finally manage to get him.
And I know there can be a lot of critique about how much people complain about dating on here, but I think that the net impact has been people finding solidarity and accountability to not settle for less. So overall, let's get it. We're going to have a healed girl summer. Love y'all.
There is absolutely no way that this woman used the word accountability to round off her video here when she's sitting here talking about the fact that apparently she's been engaged in purity culture throughout her entire adult life. I'm sorry, guys, but I truly just don't believe it at this point in time, especially if this woman is out here on dating applications herself or, you know, is going through these certain things. Because, guys, let me tell you this, okay? This is a red flag for a lot of men. Going on brunches with guy friends. Okay, she mentions this at the beginning of the video, and if she's someone who has lots of guy friends, if she thinks that these behaviors are somehow appropriate and now she wants to raise her, her standards at 30 plus years of age, these are all things that ring red flags to me. Okay, and unfortunately, guys, we live in a society now where if you're a guy and you have standards, or perhaps you aren't comfortable with things, like if you see a girl like this and she's trying to get you to take her seriously because she wants more than a situationship, and then you hear things like, oh, I've been pure this entire time, and I have lots of male friends, and I go with them to brunches. You know, a lot of guys will think to themselves, maybe these are some red flags here, and maybe if the girl is single at 30 plus years of age, there is something to be concerned about going on here. But guys, we might briefly take a look at today's Reddit story and then wrap up today's episode. This is a bit of a long one, so we might do a bit of a two-parter here. But I love how it ties in, okay? You have the girl at the beginning getting frustrated that men have standards. Then you have the girl at the end saying, hey, wait a minute. You know, I want to find a serious, healthy relationship. I need someone who's going to take care of me. And then finally, we get into a Reddit story like this, which is titled, I'm seeing a guy who is breadcrumbing me. So wait a minute, I'm sorry. I thought that women were collectively deciding to have standards and to only go after men who weren't interested in situationships, okay? But yet we have stories like this. I am seeing a guy who is breadcrumbing me. Can I get some advice, please? I, a 33-year-old female, have been seeing this guy who is a 32-year-old male since early August. We reached a point in the last couple weeks where he has planned dinner and shows cute little things to me this past weekend all of his own accord. He also asked to see me during the week. But texting him during the week is brutal. He picks and chooses what he responds to, and he has red receipts on, which drives me insane. I sent him a picture of me recently and he didn't have much of a reaction. Then when I met up with him a week later, he was talking about his game night with his friends, etc., etc. I'm curious as to whether or not I should give up because I'm getting really sad about how unimportant I feel. Regardless of all of the above, you should respond to me. I respond to people who I give less scraps about. I'm sure he's closed off or something, but I guess it just sucks because I'm really drawn to him and like him a hell of a lot on an intellectual and personal level. I hate throwing that away. I am sick of dating. I am so sick of it. Please give me some advice and insight to what I wrote because I can't always see things clearly. Right, so here we have a girl who is sick and tired of chasing a man who's not interested, who's not demonstrating interest, and of course, guys, she is sick of dating. Fantastic stuff, guys. Can we get a round of applause? But gentlemen, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, guys, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments to some of the things that we have covered here today. Personally, I find it absolutely hilarious that when men have standards, apparently it's just something that should be frowned upon. But hey, welcome to modern day society. Guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators over here at Fiend Gang, Hadan from Peace of Mind, and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. They've been putting out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. Their channels will be linked below. Also, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us for free over on Locals or Patreon. On Locals and Patreon, you guys get access to archived video content that is no longer available here on YouTube. And supporters also get access to exclusive videos where we cover different kinds of topics that you won't see me talk about here on YouTube, because to be honest, YouTube just really doesn't like it. There's video topics such as how broken families are created and how men can avoid it, bad traits that men can have, the reason why women chase married men, etc. So if you're interested in supporting, make sure that you go and check that out. And lastly, guys, if you're interested in getting a character made like mine, be sure to hit up our artist at the Gecko Ninja. He is linked in the video description as well. He's been doing art for Fiend Gang for quite some time, so if his stuff interests you guys, make sure that you hit him up for a commission. As always, he will be linked below the video. But with all that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one, for real this time. Peace.